And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. The aforementioned Andy Weimer is with us. Andy is the chairman of the Board of Trustees at the United County History Center. And it's a position that he is weathered pretty good considering all the obstacles that have been placed in front of you and other people that are running 501c3s in local institutions. Boy, it's been, with this COVID, Andy, it's really been a struggle, yes?
Sure has. You know, from my standpoint and the board's standpoint, we were full of energy and great ideas and looking forward to a smooth transition from the top down, you know, as the year turned. And we've had to put a lot of that planning on hold, and we've kind of stalled out on some things, but we still have some energy behind it, and we look forward to moving ahead.
You're an old baseball player. I shouldn't say old, but from when you played baseball, it's like a team has got momentum, you know, and then all of a sudden something happens and they have to stop, and you sit in that dugout for a while, you lose your momentum.
Exactly. It's just like a rain delay, you know.
Yeah, a rain delay.
The fourth inning, and you got, you know, a 7-0 lead.
Yep. Yep.
That's where we're at.
And some of the, I mean, you have to be concerned, and in fact, I'm going to ask you this question, why you got involved with the United County History Center in just a second, but I'm sure part of that reason is because of your love of history, but you don't have a lot of time to enjoy history in your job, do you? I mean, it's really, a lot of it is raising money, yes?
Sure is. You know, that's one of the major components of our board. That's our big push, is to ensure that the History Center can stay afloat, and not only that, but also thrive for generations to come. You know, when we think about our impact as board trustees, it's looking out to our great grandchildren so that they can enjoy what we've done and kept in place. Yeah,
later on in the show I'll talk to Rebecca McLean about some of the history of the History Center and the people that were in the position that you were in way back when, who did a good job. The fundraising, a big component of that fundraising is the telethon that is held right here on this station. We do it down at 1608 Genesee Street every year, and that's the signature event, is it not?
It sure is, and it was scheduled for the last week in March, as it always is, and we were literally down to the 11th hour when we decided to initially postpone it, and now it's just been canceled for the year. We had done all the legwork and securing all of our telethon ambassadors and all of our fundraising for such. So it's not all for naught, for sure. We've developed some new relationships and made some new friendships in the community, but we did miss a great opportunity to continue our growth.
And some people, some individuals, some corporate sponsors gave to the telethon even though there was not a telethon.
Yeah, they gave ahead of time. A good amount of our fundraising and monies in comes ahead of time because of the sponsorship that we can broadcast on television and utilize, you know, the marketing end of things. So those companies have, for the most part, stood pat and said they'll continue to sponsor us and be advocates for the History Center moving forward.
What about the second biggest event is the Living Legends Hall of Fame dinner? What's the status on that? That comes in September, October timeframe.
Yeah, it's this week is typically when we've been having it. The last few years it's been at the end of September, and that is again another fundraiser. It's not quite as profitable as a telethon. It's not quite as time-consuming either for our staff and volunteers. However, it's important and it's a fun event. It's one time we can all get together and celebrate over food and drinks and honor some of our great local ambassadors.
What's going to happen with that? Is that just going to be canceled, or do you have some plans maybe to do something else with it?
Can you see up my sleeve here? We got some plans. We're looking to possibly have a virtual event. Hopefully, you know, in the month of November. We're trying to iron out some details. Our goal is to continue to honor a few living legends, some people that are well-deserving, and not push this out any further. There are some great examples and role models that we've used for virtual events, you know, by now that that market has been laid out ahead of us. So we look forward to doing something and
Okay.
honoring those.
The 1608 Genesee Street, the home of the United County History Center, got a big area in there, 5,000 square feet, if I recall correctly. Do you ever think about using that for things other than the History Center, bringing groups in to utilize that?
Yeah, absolutely. And as the world changes and events are being held, the bigger the space, the better at this point. And we do offer a great, very large gallery that has an open floor plan that can accommodate a variety of different events. So we are thinking of using the space as a rental opportunity for other organizations.
Yeah, I guess is one of the things that the COVID has done. It's forced people to really try to think outside the box, hasn't it, Andy?
It sure has, and it's going to be strange going to our first concert or sporting event or celebratory dinner, but let's hope that it's sooner than later, and that we can all get back to normal, a new normal perhaps, but the History Center looks forward to picking right up where we left off.
One of the things that I like to drive home to people, and I have with other people that have been in studio in your position and Rebecca's position, is that the fundraising has been hit hard, but the bills don't change.
Right.
They keep coming in.
Right. We certainly do continue to pay bills, and fortunately we're in an okay financial space where there's no immediate concern, but we do need the support of our community and those in this county and beyond. And like you said, the virtual world has changed us. One way to think about that in a positive note, though, is that we're now connected beyond any geographic borders, and we are looking forward to having our virtual events. And we have had virtual events where we're getting support from people that are in different states and even different countries. So we do our best to expand and grow that way.
What's your thought, Andy, on the History Center as it goes forward? Do you have a long-range plan? I know you've got a board, and I'm honored to be on it, that you have to work with and consult with, but you personally, do you have any thoughts going forward on where you'd like to see this History Center down the road?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. Yeah, as a part of a team and on the board, we all try to congregate our good thoughts and weed out the bad and the ones that will work the best. So personally, I see the History Center only growing. I see our endowment substantially growing in the future with more and more relationships with some more new and old Oneida County families and individuals and businesses. It's crossed my mind, and I don't know how far we can take this, but potentially leveraging a different space at some point, one that's more modern, which is a little bit ironic, but to preserve and protect our assets, our treasures most effectively, we may need to look into other opportunities.
Well, I've been in that archive center, and extra space is not something that is in abundance at 1608 Genesee Street.
Sure, and I think we have enough square footage. It's just perhaps not laid out the best. Some of the nooks and crannies of that old church, which is what it was, are not really being utilized, which we could do differently somewhere else, perhaps.
And I know that it's come up that a kitchen, a commercial grade kitchen would be nice down there too.
Absolutely, that is on the list for all of our volunteers to enjoy, and then like you were alluding to with potentially renting to different organizations, we would need to upgrade for them to be best be suited.
This is a 99% volunteer-driven organization in terms of the board and in terms of volunteers. Let's talk about the board first. Are you looking for board members? Would you entertain somebody who is interested in serving on the board?
Absolutely. We are at a pivotal time right now where we have a shrinking board for good reasons. We have some elderly folks and some folks that have just served long enough and they're looking to transition out, all on a good note. And it's a great opportunity for some new, doesn't have to be a young person, it can be a person of any age, but some new blood on our board that can present some new ideas and have potentially some new relationships and new connections in the community. And just for some new passion, you know, we don't have a lockdown on all ideas, so we're always looking for something new. So this is a public plea that we are interested in looking.
And how would people approach that, Andy? Contact you?
I would advise people to contact the History Center directly and speak
Okay.
with Rebecca, the executive director. I could certainly field the phone calls, you know, but I think getting into the system is the best way, and then we will take them through the nomination process.
Okay. And what about volunteers?
Same. We have a great group core of volunteers that loses one or two every year, whether it be for a variety of reasons, but we're always in need of new people, whether it's, you know, an extensive relationship of hours and hours a week, or come in a couple hours every other week, something like that. We need new people to help organize and sort.
You're a busy guy. Your full-time job is Northwestern Mutual.
Correct.
So you've got to figure out how to blend this all in with your work. How did you get involved with wanting to do this, to be on the board and then to become chairman of the board?
Yeah, I was asked to be on the board, I believe it was 6 or 7 years ago. Lou Parada, the chairman at the time, who was a longtime friend of mine, had known that I have a passion for history, and particularly my family's history, which has some long-time Utica area roots, approached me and asked me to serve, and knew that I was in the business field. And it came to the point where I was growing in my ambition within the organization, and I'm, I believe, a natural leader, and I wanted to get involved as a leader.
You mentioned your family's history and being interested in that. I think that's one of the big advantages we have by having a history center here, is people all around the country are interested in their family, interested in their genealogy. And the History Center has got a lot of assets that can help in that kind of research.
Oh, we sure do. You know, genealogy has exploded over the last decade or so. And I remember a reading by Joe Bottini recently. I don't know the exact figures, but he said 1/6 of Americans have some kind of tie to this county or this region of some kind, which just kind of blows your mind when you think of 340 million Americans.
Yeah.
1/6 of them having a tie here. But it does make sense when you drive around and you see the old cemeteries and the buildings and, you know, the maps.
Yeah. Hey, it's good of you to come in and take out of your busy day. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
And we'll be talking again soon too, because things are coming up that need to be promoted, like that Living Legends dinner, and hopefully we'll get this telethon back on the air next year too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, we come back. We'll be with Rebecca McLean, and Rebecca is the very new executive director at the United County History Center. Short break. Right back.